My beloveds, come close. Let us sit a while in the circle of truth, where the lamps of wisdom burn bright, and the air is thick with the scent of memory. Let us speak with grace. Let us speak with fire. Let us speak with the trembling courage of a soul that has lived long enough to know what matters, and who must be left behind. Time, you see, is not a beggar. It does not plead. It is a king that marches on unbothered by our regrets or apologies. And as we grow older, the leaves of our lives begin to fall, soft, golden, and final. In this sacred season of silver hair and soft bones, we must be wise with what remains. We must guard our joy like a pearl and protect our peace as though it were the last breath in our body. Now hear me when I say, not everyone who walks with you is meant to stay with you. Not everyone who shares your blood deserves to share your time. Yes, I said it. Even family. Sometimes especially family. Let me tell you about 5 people you must avoid in old age, even if their names are written in your family Bible. Oh, beloved, let me speak now of the quiet devastation that lives in the shadows of love, the subtle cruelty wrapped in memory, the kind that walks into a room and smiles at you, all the while tightening a rope you didn't even know was around your neck. These are not strangers, no. They are people you once held in your arms, fed from your own hands, prayed over in the midnight hours. They are the ones who now look at you and see not the woman of wisdom you have become, nor the man of trials endured and survived, but a version of you frozen in time. They are the manipulators of memories, and God help us, some of them call us family. There is a grief in growing old that nobody warns you about. They talk about the aching bones and the forgetting of names, but they don't speak on the heartache that comes from being misremembered. Of having your life, your love, your sacrifices reduced to a handful of cherry-picked moments used against you. Oh yes, some people use your past as a weapon, not because they've forgotten, but because they remember too selectively. They remember your failures with perfect clarity, and your kindness only in blurred sketches. You gave so much. You gave when you were running on empty. You sacrificed the better parts of your youth for their comfort, your laughter for their nourishment. And now they sit across from you, tea in hand, tongue sharpened like a blade, and say, "You were never really there for me." My Lord, what a sentence. A sentence that erases the sleepless nights, the anxious days, the bent knees on a bedroom floor as you cried to God. Just let them be all right. They forget the times you chose their joy over your own. They forget the jobs you took that broke your back, but paid their tuition. They forget the meals you skipped so their plate could be full. But they remember that one day, yes, that one bitter day, when you snapped, when you were tired, when you made a mistake, and they hang that moment around your neck like it defines you, as if that stumble tells the whole story, as if grace is not for you. Child, I want you to understand something deeply. You are not your worst day. You are not your mistakes. You are not the anger you felt when you were overwhelmed, nor the silence you gave when your spirit was too broken to speak. You are the sum of every rising, every time you stood back up when life tried to pin you down. You are the echo of every prayer whispered in the dark, the light in every room you ever entered. Do not let anyone, not even your children, not even your kin, rewrite your narrative with shame. You see, people who manipulate your memories are trying to own your truth. They want to wear the crown of victimhood, while you bear the burden of the villain. But let me tell you, truth cannot be undone. It may be buried for a season, dressed up in false tales and exaggerated wounds, but eventually, like the morning sun, it breaks through. And still we forgive. We always do, don't we? We forgive with hands still trembling from the last wound. We open the door again and again, hoping they'll see us. Really see us. Not the ghost of who we were, but the soul of who we are now. But some people don't want to see you healed. Some people prefer the version of you they can control. The one who's forever apologizing, forever explaining, forever trying to earn love that should have been freely given. But baby, in your old age, you must stop auditioning for acceptance. You must stop explaining your heart to people committed to misunderstanding it. Let them sit in their version of the past if they must. Let them dwell in old rooms filled with dust and blame. You are building new spaces, holy spaces, rooms filled with peace, laughter, and the sacred stillness of self-acceptance. Let the record show you tried. You gave, you forgave, and now you are free. And freedom, my dear, means you no longer entertain the weight of manipulated memories. You do not dance to the tune of guilt played by the fingers of people who refuse to remember your love. You do not carry the cross of their resentment. No, you carry only the torch of truth and the balm of wisdom. If they cannot celebrate your growth, your healing, your aging, then let them stay behind. And when they call your peace arrogance, your distance cruelty, your silence rudeness, bless them. But do not go back. This is the season of your harvest. This is the time when you drink from the well you spent decades digging. You do not need to explain to anyone why you guard your joy. You have earned it. You have sown it in tears and tended it through storms. If someone comes to your table only to bring bitterness, you are allowed, no, you are commanded, to show them the door. Even if they say, "But I'm your sister." Even if they say, "But I'm your child." Even if they say, "But I've known you forever." Because knowing someone for a long time doesn't mean they respect you. Being family doesn't mean they know how to love you well. And proximity does not equal purity of intention. You must be brave enough now to be your own protector. To speak over yourself what they refuse to say, "I did the best I could. I may have fallen, but I rose. I may have been wrong, but I tried to make it right. And I deserve love. I deserve rest. I deserve to be remembered not for the cracks in my walls, but for the way I kept the roof from falling in." Walk forward, elder. Let the past be the past. Let manipulated memories crumble like paper in the rain. Stand firm in the knowledge that your life is not a tale to be rewritten by those who never tried to understand it. You are not here to be endlessly punished for the sins others cannot let go. You are here to live, to be, to glow in the quiet light of truth. So rise and walk, and leave behind anyone who tries to make you smaller than the God who carried you through what have you be. Amen. Ah, come sit with me a while, child. Let us hush the noise of this world and listen to the still, small voice within. For there are lessons that life will only whisper to those who have endured long enough to finally hear them. And one of those truths, painful though it may be, is this: there are people in your life, sometimes the ones who sat at your table, sometimes the ones who wore your name, who will slice you not with knives but with words. Words that drip with judgment, words that wear the skin of concern but carry the spirit of condemnation. These, my dear, are the constant critics, and in your old age you must walk away from them. Let me say this plain and clear: a sharp tongue has broken more hearts than any weapon forged by man. And the worst part is, sometimes the people who wield that tongue do it in the name of love. "I'm just being honest," they say. "I'm only trying to help," they insist. But honesty without kindness is cruelty, and help without humility is harm. You've lived long enough to have made mistakes. That is the nature of life. To try and fail, to stumble and stand again. You have raised children, buried friends, mended broken dreams, and survived heartbreak that would have folded others in half. You have fought through storms without umbrellas, and danced in the rain when others ran for cover. So when someone speaks to you as though you are still a child, as though your age has brought you nothing but wrinkles, you must remember who you are. You are not here to shrink so others can feel tall. You are not here to swallow your truth so someone else can speak theirs louder. In this season of your life, your spirit deserves to be handled like fine crystal, not pounded like a drum. The constant critic does not see your soul, they only see your scars. They call out your weight, your choices, your finances, your faith. They make jokes that do not bring laughter, only shame. They question every move you make, as if they were appointed judge over your very being. And all the while, they wear the face of family. But what is family if not the place you are meant to feel most safe? Oh, my dear, the tongue can be a holy thing. With it we sing lullabies, say prayers, speak life. But in the hands of the wrong soul, it becomes a lash, leaving no visible bruises, yet bruising just the same. You know what I'm talking about. That niece who never visits unless it's to tell you what you should be doing differently. That cousin who reminds you, every time she speaks, of how she would never have lived her life the way you lived yours. That sibling who keeps your failures alive like fresh fruit, always ripe for display. You do not owe them your ears anymore. You do not have to receive every opinion simply because it is spoken. In fact, wisdom teaches us that silence can be a sanctuary. You can look someone in the eye and let their words pass over you like a storm that you refuse to let inside. Let me tell you something precious. It is not your job to change their mind about you. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. Not anymore. Those who love you truly, deeply, and rightly will speak to you with respect. They will not tear you down and call it truth. They will not mock your choices and call it love. They will not diminish your light and then blame you for the darkness. You have spent years shaping your life like a potter with clay. Some days the work was gentle, and others it was hard and painful. But you kept molding, you kept going. And now you are here, a vessel full of stories and wisdom and grace. Don't you dare let someone who hasn't walked your journey tell you how to wear your crown. When the constant critic opens their mouth, what they reveal is not your flaws, but their own fear, their need to control, their discomfort with your freedom. You must not bend to it. You must not allow their bitterness to infect your peace. Now, I am not saying don't listen to wisdom. No, ma'am. No, sir. A loving word of correction from a soul rooted in gentleness can be a gift. But if it comes with ridicule, if it steals your joy and sows doubt in your spirit, then it is not love. It is a chain. And in this chapter of your life, you are not meant to wear chains. You are meant to soar. So bless them, yes. Wish them well. Pray that their hearts soften, that their mouths find sweetness. But do not keep walking into rooms where your dignity must defend itself. Don't keep answering phones that only bring static and sting. You have earned your peace. You have earned your joy. You have earned the right to sit in your own presence and know that it is good. Speak life to yourself when no one else will. Wrap your own arms around your weary soul and whisper, "You did well, beloved. You did well." And then live, laugh loud. Dress in colors that feel like sunlight. Eat the cake. Wear the hat. Take the nap. Let your life be an answer to every critic, not in words, but in peace. You don't need their permission to be proud of yourself. You don't need their approval to walk in joy. The God who brought you through every valley is still with you now, placing balm on your soul and whispering, "Well done, my child." So the next time the constant critic comes knocking, whether in person, over the phone, or in your memory, open the door not with bitterness, but with boundaries. Say, "I love you, but I love myself too, and I will no longer sit at tables where I am the meal. Walk on elder, head high, soul free, and let no one dim your light with the dullness of their own. For you are the poetry of survival, the hymn of hope, the living evidence that grace still works miracles." Amen. Ah, come closer now, my dear. Let me sit beside you and tell you something you already know deep in your bones, but maybe you've been too kind, too faithful, too hopeful to speak aloud. Let me tell you the truth about a certain kind of presence. A presence that wears a smile but feeds on your peace, that leans on you but never lifts you. These are the takers, the ones who come to your life not to add to it, but to draw from it, again and again and again. And in the soft twilight of your years, you must let them go. Now, don't mistake my meaning. There is a beauty in giving, a sacredness in pouring out of oneself, especially for those we love. But there comes a time, a holy, powerful time, when the soul can no longer afford to be emptied by people who never come to fill. You see, child, there are folk in your life who only know how to take. They take your time. They take your kindness. They take your strength, your resources, your peace of mind. And they never look back. Never once ask, how are you really? Never say, let me give to you for a change. They come with problems but no prayers. They come with complaints but no compassion. And you keep giving. Because that's who you are. Because you've always been the strong one, the dependable one. The one who finds a way, holds up the roof even while the walls fall down. But hear me now, beloved, strength is not just in carrying others. It's in knowing when to put them down. The takers, they know your spirit. They know your soft heart and your open door. And so they arrive, again and again, with empty hands and heavy burdens. And when they leave you drained, doubting, diminished. And you begin to wonder if you are allowed to rest. If you are allowed to say, not today. If you are allowed to be something other than useful. Oh, my darling, let me say it plain, you are not a resource. You are a soul. You are not a well to be dipped into whenever someone is thirsty. You are not a ladder to be climbed, or a wallet to be opened, or a shoulder to be cried on without ever being asked. What do you need? Some of the takers carry your blood. Some carry your history. Some share your last name. But love, true love, doesn't take without also giving. It doesn't keep score, but it keeps balance. And if the scales have been tipped for too long, if the weight has always been on your side, then you must consider this. Maybe what they call love is only need. There is a quiet kind of grief that comes from realizing that some people only see your value in what you can do for them, not in who you are, not in the wisdom you carry, or the stories etched into your skin, or the light you still shine even after all you've been through. Just what you can give, just what they can get. And Lord knows you've given. You gave when you were tired. You gave when you were broke. You gave when no one else gave to you. And now you have reached a season where your giving should be met with gratitude, not expectation. You don't owe anyone your exhaustion. You don't owe anyone your last breath, your last dollar, your last ounce of peace. You owe yourself care. You owe yourself preservation. You owe yourself joy. And let me tell you something beautiful. There is no shame in turning away from those who only come to take. That is not selfishness. That is sacred self-respect. That is honoring the divine in you. That is saying to God, yes, I believe I am worthy of peace too. See, takers will twist your kindness into guilt. They'll make you feel wrong for choosing rest, for setting limits, for finally saying no. But boundaries are not betrayal. They are love wrapped in wisdom. They are a soft but firm declaration. I am not infinite, and I will not be consumed. In your older years, every moment is golden. Every breath, every laugh, every quiet morning. Don't spend that gold on people who do not value it. Don't give your golden years to the same people who could not appreciate your iron ones. And when they come knocking, when they come calling, when they come needing again, search your heart. Ask yourself, does this bring peace? Does this bring love? Does this bring reciprocity? If the answer is no, then let silence be your answer. Let them find someone else to carry what they've refused to carry for themselves. Let them learn that love is not entitlement. Let them discover that your door no longer swings open for those who never brought more than need. Now you may feel guilt, that old familiar weight. The voice that says, you should help them. You should be there. But listen closely. There is another voice now, a wiser voice, a voice shaped by experience, refined by fire. And that voice says, you've done enough. It's time to rest. Let your days be filled with joy, not obligation, with companionship, not codependency, with relationships that water you, not just draw from you. Let your conversations be light and nourishing. Let your spirit be surrounded by people who see you, not just what you can give. Because you, my dear, you deserve that. You deserve to be poured into. You deserve to sit back and receive. You deserve to be seen not as a resource, but as a soul, not as a giver, but as a beloved. So take your peace and protect. Take your joy and guard it. Take your time and cherish it. You have earned it. You have lived for others for so long. Now live for yourself and for the God who carried you when no one else did. Walk away from the takers. Forgive them. But do not carry them, not now, not anymore. Amen. There is a certain kind of loneliness that creeps up quietly, like a shadow at dusk, often disguised as well-meaning concern or constant companionship. And it is a loneliness not of solitude, but of presence without true connection. This is the loneliness brought by the judgmental family member, the one who watches you through a lens of expectations and disappointments, who measures your worth by standards that do not fit your soul, who holds you captive in a prison built of their assumptions and narrow views. And in the later chapters of life, when your days should be sweet with the soft fruits of peace, you must learn to guard your heart against this particular kind of kinship. It is hard, yes, because family is a sacred word. It is wrapped in memories, in shared histories, in the blood that courses through our veins like a river that can neither be dammed nor diverted. Family is the cradle of our earliest joys and pains, the place where we first learn to love and to fear. But sometimes family can also be the echo chamber of criticism, the battleground where old wounds are reopened, where your spirit is questioned in the name of care, and your choices dissected with surgical precision. The judgmental family member does not see the journey you have walked. They do not see the nights you spent wrestling with doubt, the mornings you rose despite it, the battles you fought quietly behind closed doors. Instead, they see only what you are not, what you failed to become, what you chose differently, what you dared not say aloud. Their love is conditional, wrapped in the paper of disapproval, tied with a ribbon of expectation. You might find yourself shrinking in their presence, trying to fit into molds that were never made for you. You might catch yourself explaining your life, defending your decisions, hoping for a nod of acceptance that never comes. And all the while your soul grows weary, your heart heavy with the weight of unspoken rejection. But hear me now, your worth is not measured by their standards. Your life is not a ledger to be balanced by their judgment. You are not here to live out their dreams, or to carry the weight of their disappointments. You are here to be your full, whole self, flaws and all, wounds and wonders alike. In your older years, you have earned the right to live free of the chains of judgment. You have earned the right to sit in your own light, to wear your scars like medals of honor, to speak your truth without apology. Do not let the judgmental family members steal that from you. Their words may come wrapped in concern, but beneath it lies control. Their criticisms may sound like advice, but they are often weapons disguised in velvet. You do not have to accept their verdicts. You do not have to internalize their doubts. You do not have to allow their expectations to dictate your happiness. It is okay to set boundaries with family, even when your heart aches to keep the peace. Sometimes love means saying no to the voices that diminish you, even when those voices come from those closest to you. Sometimes love means stepping back, creating distance, protecting the fragile flame of your spirit from the gusts of disapproval. And know this, setting boundaries does not make you less loving or less loyal. It makes you wise. It makes you strong. It makes you a keeper of your own peace. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup, nor can you shine your light when it is constantly shadowed by judgment. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your journey, who honor your growth, who see the beauty in your becoming. Seek the company of souls who offer encouragement without condition, who listen without interrupting with their own opinions, who love you not in spite of your imperfections, but because of them. Remember, family is not only those who share your blood, but also those who share your heart. You have the power to choose who sits at your table, who holds space for you, who walks beside you in this season of your life. When the judgmental family member tries to close the door on your dreams, open a window to new possibilities. When they attempt to clip your wings with criticism, spread them wide and soar anyway. When their voices rise like thunder, find your quiet center and hold fast to your truth. Your life is a tapestry woven with threads of courage, resilience, and grace. Do not let anyone unravel it with their narrow judgments. You are more than the sum of their opinions. You are a masterpiece still in progress, a story still unfolding, a soul still shining. So, dear one, stand tall in your truth. Speak kindly to yourself when their words sting. Walk away when their presence dims your light. Protect your peace with the fierceness of a lioness guarding her cubs. In doing so, you honor not only yourself, but the generations that came before you and the ones yet to come. You show them what it means to live fully and freely, to love fiercely and wisely, to hold on to dignity even when others try to take it away. May you find the strength to rise above judgment, the courage to embrace your true self, and the grace to forgive, not for their sake, but for yours. For in forgiveness you release the chains that bind you and open the door to healing and peace. And in this peace, may you rest, may you rejoice, may you live the fullness of your days with the dignity and joy that you so richly deserve. Amen. There is a quiet danger that often goes unnoticed until it has already crept into the very fabric of your life. It is the presence of the energy vampires, the people who come not to share light, but to steal it. These are the ones whose very presence leaves you feeling drained, depleted, as if your soul has been slowly leached of its vitality. And in the gentle autumn of your years, when every breath is precious and every moment sacred, you must learn to recognize these shadows and turn away from them, even if they call themselves friends. Energy vampires are masters of disguise. They don't come wrapped in darkness or shouting accusations. No, they come softly, with sweet smiles and empty promises. They come bearing tales of woe, complaints that never end, needs that never cease. And when they leave, you find yourself hollowed out, exhausted, wondering where your strength has gone. They suck the joy from the room like a slow, relentless storm, leaving behind a silence heavy with emptiness. These vampires do not understand the sacredness of your energy. They do not honor the reservoirs of patience, kindness, and love you have stored through years of living, learning, and growing. They take what they want without asking, without giving back, without ever thinking of the toll it takes on your spirit. In youth, we sometimes believe that all pain shared is a burden lightened, that if we listen long enough and give enough, the balance will right itself. But as the years unfold, wisdom teaches us otherwise. Not every sharing is equal, not every listener is kind, not every giver receives in return. And so it is that in your older age you must guard your energy as fiercely as you would guard your heart. This is not cruelty, it is survival, it is self-love. You see, our energy is the currency of our souls. It fuels our passions, our connections, our very will to live. When it is drained, even the brightest day can seem dull. Even the sweetest joy can feel bitter. The energy vampire does not see this. They do not see that their endless need is a wound they have not healed, a hunger they do not feed from within. Instead, they seek to feed from others, unaware or uncaring of the damage left in their wake. But you, my beloved, have walked a long road. You have faced storms that bent you, but did not break you. You have carried burdens that would have crushed lesser souls. And you have learned that your energy is precious, that your spirit is a garden that must be tended with care. So how do you protect this garden? First, you must recognize the vampire when they come. Notice the weight they leave behind, the heaviness in your chest, the weariness in your bones. Notice how your mood shifts after encounters with them, how your smile feels forced and your laughter hollow. Then you must set boundaries, firm, loving boundaries. It is okay to say, I cannot carry this right now. It is okay to walk away from conversations that drain you. It is okay to protect your time and space. You do not owe anyone your energy, especially not those who take without giving. And when these vampires come cloaked in guilt or manipulation, when they tell you that you are selfish or unkind for preserving your peace, remember this: self-care is not selfishness. Loving yourself is not a sin. You cannot pour from an empty cup, nor can you shine your light when it has been dimmed by others. Seek instead the company of those who nourish your soul. Surround yourself with people who recognize your worth, who honor your limits, who celebrate your presence. And if you find that the energy vampires are those closest to you, even friends you have known for years, do not despair. Sometimes the greatest act of love is to step back, to let go, to allow space for healing that can only happen apart. You do not have to carry the weight of their needs at the expense of your own well-being. Remember, too, that protecting your energy does not mean closing your heart. It means opening it wisely. It means choosing where your love flows so that it returns to you multiplied, not depleted. Your life is a sacred flame, and every moment you live is a blessing. Do not let that flame be snuffed out by those who would feed on it without care. Stand strong in your truth. Guard your spirit. Cherish your peace. In doing so, you honor not just yourself, but the divine spark within you, the light that has carried you through every trial, every triumph, every quiet day and every stormy night. May you walk forward with courage, with grace, with the fierce love that protects your soul and preserves your joy. May you find rest in the arms of those who truly see you, and may your days be filled with the gentle, life-giving light you so richly deserve. Amen.